Engelbrecht.
No, it shows him, man.
Well, folks, good day to you one and all. A bit of a late start, but we're in there and we are with you this evening. Can you believe it? It's all happened so suddenly this evening. And straight away we've got somebody that's gone off. In fact, that is Johan Ferry that has gone off. And, well, I think he's spun it as well as Johan Ferry. Let's go to the front end of the pack. It is Gerald Ferry that leads out at the front end of the field. Then we've got Timothy Stanton. Behind Timothy Stanton, we've got JJ van der Merwe. Behind JJ van der Merwe is Captain Peter van der Speyber. Look at that grouping as they work their way through. It's very, very tight between all of them as they work their way through there. Peter van der Spey, and then the next man through is Steve McCarthy and Sway Schubert, and then Leon van Wyk, the next man coming through behind that. A very, very tight battle that they sitting in there right now. All of 11 cars out there. Johan Ferry finds himself at the back end of the pack, and well, that was because he went off and he went back onto the circuit again, managed to get it all together. So let's go back to the front end of the field. Gerald Ferry once again finds himself at the front end of the pack. He's in that beautiful Marlboro colors. In there behind him is Timothy Stanton. Behind Timothy Stanton's JJ van der Merwe, Peter van der Spey. And look at that behind us. Leon van Wyk is getting swamped with Stephen McCarthy's right in there as well. They're sitting side by side. Only one by one can go through that last complex of corners. There's no other way to get through there as they work their way back out into the straight. It is Timothy Stanton that's got into the pits. Timothy Stanton has in fact gone into the pits. He's decided he's not going to get himself tied up whatsoever. He wants to get in the pits and get out Timothy Stanton into the pit lane. It's all about Gerald Ferry, and he's put up the fastest lap as well. Once again, Gerald Ferry is the man of the moment. Right in there behind him, talk about the man of the moment, it is Peter van der Spey. Oh, Peter, get it back on circuit. JJ van der Merwe goes through. Peter van der Spey gets it back on circuit. And that's going to cost him a little couple of positions in the 108, the first of the Grand Masters, as he works his way through. Well, I've got a bit of a variation here. I've got Gerald Ferry up front. I've got JJ van der Merwe that's in that second position. But it's not what it shows out on screen, so I'm not too sure which of the two is correct. JJ van der Merwe, let's have a slightly broader look at that. JJ van der Merwe, and he's got Sway Schubert there in behind him. So Leon van Wyk moves up a position. Leon van Wyk moves up there ahead of Sway Schubert, going side by side. I think that was Stephen McCarthy that was the next man that was coming through there. And that then just ahead of Peter van der Spey as they come across the line. So, yeah, pretty interesting stuff. What can I say? It's amazing stuff, in fact. So where are we this evening? Seeing we got to you a bit late. Season 12, round number 11 in the Renault F3.5. That's a 3.5 liters, and we are at the SUZUKA circuit. Gerald Ferry from that front row of the grid in the Marlboro car leads them out pretty neatly. To keep an eye on Gerald Ferry. Just look at the gap that he's got. 5.1 seconds. Gerald Ferry ahead of the rest of the pack. There comes JJ van der Merwe leading out from Leon van Wyk. Then it is Sway Schubert. Behind Sway Schubert is Peter van der Spey. Just got a bit of technical difficulties in the background. We're just getting that one sorted out, and then we'll be able to change to that second, third, and a fourth place battle. As we try and pick it up for you, that battle with Leon van Wyk. It's Leon van Wyk that's doing everything he can. He's right in there behind JJ van der Merwe. Swayze Hubert is in as well. Leon van Wyk goes up on the inside of JJ van der Merwe. Leon van Wyk goes flying up on that inside line, and it looks like he's going to make that one stick. In behind Leon van Wyk, it looks like Swayze Hubert is all over the back of JJ van der Merwe. Now it's hotting up. The Being IT entry is trying to go into the pits was Swayze Hubert, and unfortunately was just too high, too hard, too handsome coming in there, and it did not work out for him. Can you believe it? As we keep an eye there on Leon van Wyk and JJ van der Merwe in that second position. As soon as we can get the telemetry back up on the screen and change shots as well, we will be doing that for you. Johan Fourie that had that crash earlier on, and well, he is into the pits, is Johan Fourie. Timothy Stanton's in the pits. Swayze Hubert is in the pits. Peter van der Spey has now come into the pits as well. Swayze Hubert making his way out of the pit lane. So I don't see any action. Well, Johan Fourie on his way out of the pits now as well. As soon as we can get the balance of the telemetry sorted out, we will in fact go to those other drivers as well. There is Johan Engelbrecht. Now Johan Engelbrecht is the leading Grand Master at this stage of the fight. Johan Engelbrecht from Sandra Bakari. Peter van der Spey has dropped all the way down. Unfortunately, without our telemetry, we can't really see at this stage who has been in and out of the pits. We know Johan Fourie's been in. We know Timothy Stanton has been in. Johan Engelbrecht finds himself in that fourth position in the Ferrari colours. Behind him being Stephen McCarthy, Gerald Maget, Sandra Bakari. Nice to see Gerald Maget back as well. Swayze Hubert. Then Johan Fourie, Timothy Stanton, and Peter van der Spey. Swayze, Johan, Timothy, and Peter, to the best of my knowledge, have all been in and out of the pits, but without the ability to change the telemetry. Gerald Fourie 5 seconds ahead of Leon van Wyk. 1.8 from Leon van Wyk back to JJ van der Merwe. 9 seconds back to Johan Engelbrecht. Then it's Stephen McCarthy 5 seconds further back. Gerald Maget just 1.3 seconds back. Gerald Maget is actually holding on to the very quick Stephen McCarthy, with Sandra Bakari, the second of the Grand Masters. Peter van der Spey finds himself behind Timothy Stanton. And Johan Engelbrecht just had that little spin. That'll probably drop him behind Sandra Bakari and Swayze Hubert. But we'll try and get that information for you as soon as we got our technical team doing a massive job for us in the background here, trying to get everything sorted out. As soon as that gets sorted out, we will be able to change the screens. Well, folks, at the moment, unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties in the background, we're not able to change any. Oopsie, off the circuit. Once again, Johan Engelbrecht. Next man to come through is probably going to be Sander Bakari, so he's got to try and extricate that car out of the barrier. Johan Engelbrecht's going to have to spin it around on the grass, just like that. So as soon as we can get into the camera shots, we'll be able to change that for you. I must say it's kind of strange trying to watch the race like this without the telemetry, and if we could just change the cars, it would be fantastic. So Johan Engelbrecht, I can tell you, is the man that's in the pits right now. From the telemetry that is available to us, Gerald Ferry from JJ van der Merwe, just 7.8 seconds between the two of them. Then it's Leon van Wyk. Oh, there, it looks like we might just be up and running. There we go, we've got it. So the man that's leading is in fact Gerald Ferry. We are lap number 8 of 15, 12 minutes and 27 seconds of the 25 minutes in. Let's catch up now on those pit stops. There we can see one pit stop for Johan Ferry, twice in for Timothy Stanton, but even with that, Timothy Stanton finds himself only 11 seconds behind Johan Ferry. So Gerald Ferry, that's everything seems to have done quite perfect for Gerald Ferry. He finds himself at the front end of the grid, not that far behind him, 8 seconds. Oh, using the whole track in a bit more. Is JJ van der Merwe in there behind him. There comes underneath the Bridgestone bridge. That is Leon van Wyk. Then the next man come through there is Stephen McCarthy. Lovely looking motor car, that of Stephen McCarthy. Then the leading Grandmaster, that is Sandro Bakari. 14 seconds behind him is Gerald van Majay. But Gerald Majay, remember, has not been into the pits. So the leading car in and out of the pits is Johan Ferry. But I'm going to hazard a guess that Gerald Ferry, JJ van der Merwe and Leon van Wyk most probably would be, once they go in and out of the pits, then ahead of Johan Ferry. Given that Johan Ferry had that incident right in the beginning, depends how quick he got it back into. Oh, big spin there for Johan Ferry. He was pushing it to the limit, and he gets it back onto the circuit again. That was a biggie for Johan Ferry as he went off the circuit. So that just shows you he's pushing it to the nth degree. Into the pits goes Gerald Ferry and JJ van der Merwe. What does Stephen McCarthy do? Stephen McCarthy decides he's going to go straight through. Yep, Stephen McCarthy goes through. What about Sandro Bakari? Sandro Bakari is going into the pits. What about Gerald Majay? Gerald Majay is a little bit further back. He's climbing up now towards the pit entry. Gerald Ferry in and out of the pits, and Gerald Ferry is the leading man right now. JJ van der Merwe is in and out of the pits. Sandro Bakari on his way into the pits. So Leon van Wyk is the leading man out there. He's got 14 seconds on Gerald Ferry. Now let's have a look at the pit lane times. 25, 26, 28, 40. Leon van Wyk has just spun it around as well. That's a first gear exit to that corner, and that's what makes it so difficult. When you come out of that corner, you've got much more power than what you can possibly put down. Peter van der Spey just put up the fastest lap time. Peter van der Spey is flying. He's just put up the fastest lap time so far. So Leon van Wyk has still got to go into the pits. In the interim, let's have a look, see that who has done all those pit stops. Gerald Ferry, Stephen McCarthy. So JJ van der Merwe is then in effect second out on circuit. Once Leon comes in, he'll probably come out behind JJ van der Merwe and ahead of Sandro Bakari. Once Stephen McCarthy comes in, he will, well, there's Leon van Wyk that comes in now. That is Leon van Wyk that has come in, and there goes Gerald Fourie. He'll go straight through. Stephen McCarthy is going to go into the pits. So the next man is going to be JJ van der Merwe. There's JJ van der Merwe coming through, and then there comes Sandro Bakari, who's already been in and out of the pits. So once again, a faultless run by Gerald Fourie from JJ van der Merwe by 7 seconds. Then the next man that's going to come through there behind him is going to be Johan Engelbrecht. And then behind that, in fact, is Leon van Wyk. So Leon van Wyk third out on circuit. So massive gaps after that initial incident that happened. I'd just like to actually have a bit of a look from an in-car camera shot of that Leon van Wyk incident. Here we see fourth gear, fifth gear, fourth gear, down into second, down into first. Now, just too much power in that first gear. You need to stay there in that lower revs in second gear. Nice little spin around, a bit of opposite lock, trying to get the power down, and away he goes again. So there you see the implications of coming out of that U-bend and selecting first gear. You've got to be so smooth on the power. We 10 of the 15 laps is done. 17 minutes 35 of the total of 25 minutes. Everybody has been in and out of the pits. It is Gerald Fourie that is leading them through. He's got all of 8 seconds on our next man, which is JJ van der Merwe. Behind JJ van der Merwe on the leaderboard is that man, Leon van Wyk. It was Johan Engelbrecht that's between them on circuit. Then we have Stephen McCarthy. JJ van der Merwe past Gerald Fourie. Wow, let's have a look at that one. JJ van der Merwe. Well, that's a bit strange. Our telemetry, unfortunately, is playing games with us at this stage of the fight. But I can tell you is Jan Engelbrecht has had an off. Oh, the same corner. Here we go. Fifth gear, fourth gear, third gear, second, down to first. Turn it in. Climb on the gas and it turns itself around. Luckily, the damage control is on. Now you got to wait for the cars to come past. Nice and smooth on the gas. And off the line he goes again. Gerald Maget has also had an incident. Let's see what it was, the incident for Gerald Maget. Oh, coming in very, very loud. Coming in very, very loud. Well, I tell you what, you know, when they say ambition exceeds adhesion, that was one of those instances. So I don't know exactly how this one played itself out, but Gerald Fourie has dropped a long, long way down. In fact, Gerald Fourie's gone. Gerald Fourie. Something's gone wrong for Gerald Fourie because he's dropped right down and we cannot, in fact, pick him up at all. So definitely some telemetry problems there for him. What a turn up for the books with just 4.5 minutes to go. JJ van der Merwe, who hasn't had such a great time of late. Let's be honest, it hasn't worked out the way that he's wanted it to be at all. And I don't think he would be overly happy with the way things have worked out recently, but it's really gone exceptionally well for him this evening, because right now JJ van der Merwe finds himself in a very healthy 9-second lead. There he comes now from Leon van Wyk. Gerald Fourie does show in the pits, so definitely something went wrong for Gerald Fourie, that the car automatically jumped to the pit. So Leon van Wyk, 16 seconds back is Stephen McCarthy and Sandro Bakari all over his back wing. That Cannon car under a whole lot of pressure from Sandro Bakari. Now, in real terms, Sandro Bakari doesn't really need to pass, because Sandro Bakari is in the Grand Masters class, but there's nothing like actually making the passing maneuver and moving up. Sandro Bakari, the Grand Master, moves up into a top 3 behind JJ van der Merwe in the Green Dream Machine from the being IT entry of Leon van Wyk. Then it is a Sandro Bakari, third on circuit, first in the Grand Masters from Stephen McCarthy. Then somehow it is, it's supposed to be Johan Fourie. Remember, Johan Fourie was in that incident in the very first couple of corners, and then he had that one high-speed tumble as well. So he's done exceptionally well, has Johan Fourie. And he finds himself on a massive comeback ahead of Timothy Stanton, ahead of Peter van der Spey. 19 seconds further back is Gerald Maget. 29 seconds. Oh, looks like he's just had it off. That is Space Hubert that went off track. Let's see if we can maybe pick that one up. Yeah, he just touched the grass going in there. He was just a little bit too wide and then just couldn't bring it back at all until that point. Yeah, having driven that piece of the circuit with a practice session on Monday night, you come in there, you just lift off very lightly through the first right-hander, and then you come towards that 90 degree and then through underneath the bridge. And that's the piece that caught him out for Swiss Hubert. Johan Engelbrecht, the man that is leading before this event, the Grandmasters, finds himself right at the back of the pack. I almost think he went in and did 2 pit stops. No, it was Gerald Fourie that went back into the pits. Well, Gerald Fourie is back out on circuit again, and he is a lap down. So I think that was connectivity problems for Gerald Fourie, that he disappeared from the front end of the pack and then popped up a whole heap further back. So that didn't work out for him whatsoever. Not what he wanted to happen at all for Gerald Fourie, and you'll be very, very disappointed with that one as well.
I don't want to slip my wrists, actually.
Well, that's another way of putting it. What actually happened, Gerald?
I honestly don't have a clue. It just said our racing scoring has ended. And yeah, just nothing. I've never ever had anything like that happen to me in racing before. So apparently the guy says it came up on screen as a placard loss. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah, well, let's go to the front end of the field. It is JJ van der Merwe with 15 seconds to go. Will he now pick up a checkered flag or the white flag? I'm pretty sure it's going to be the white flag. Yes, it is. It's JJ van der Merwe that's leading out. JJ, after a couple of weeks of semi-unhappiness, this must feel like $1 million.
Yes, it was gifted to me. It was gifted to me. Gerald would have taken it with by a mile, but yes, I'm grabbing it.
Okay, let's not talk to JJ as we watch him on his last lap. Not that far behind him, Leon van Wyk. Leon, what a session!
Yeah, look, this was Gerald's race, but JJ is doing flawless in front of me. I've already spun 3 times, really difficult. But he's just keeping it neat, keeping it clean, so he deserves it. He's just
Yeah.
got to bring it home.
Note to driver, when riding a Renault 3.5, do not select first gear after U-bend. It's kind of loud when it comes through there. But folks, let's leave them to concentrate on that one. Let's follow JJ van der Merwe and his moment of glory. He's had 3 mediocre weeks in the last couple of weeks, and tonight it's just all come. Yes, to a certain degree it was gifted to him with a bad marriage between Gerald Ferrier's computer and the internet system. And that did gift it to JJ, but you've got to be there. You've got to be in it to win it, and he was in it to win it. That is a fact. He's done a brilliant job, has JJ van der Merwe. He'll be super chuffed with this one. This will put him at the back of the pack on the restart, but he's not going to mind that one right now. As he comes across the line and takes that checkered flag, he will be super duper chuffed with that. Well done, JJ van der Merwe. The next man coming through behind him is in fact going to be Leon van Wyk. As the Being IT entry comes across the line, he will take up that second position. Then behind that comes Sandro Bakari, leading out on the Grandmasters. That ahead of Johan Fourie. There goes Timothy Stanton. He slowly brings it across the line, and Peter van der Spey. Peter van der Spey gives that one back to Stephen McCarthy as he comes across the line as well. Comes and takes the checkered flag, does Peter van der Spey. Must have been an incident between himself and Stephen that he backed off and let Stephen go past him. Gerald Mazet comes through. Nice looking motor car, that. Very, very nice. And then the last man in the Marlboro car. Still got a bit of a way to go. It's 46 seconds behind the back end of the pack. As he works his way through, let's just see what happened with Stephen McCarthy. Stephen McCarthy goes around, trying to get it back onto the circuit. Peter van der Spey goes right down, let Stephen go through, and then picks it up as he goes across the line. And the last man through is Gerald Fourie. Wow, what a turn up for the books that was. That was crazy stuff, really crazy stuff. I haven't seen something like that for a long time. From a telemetry point of view as well. So heat number 1. Let's see if we can pick up those results. JJ van der Merwe, brilliant win in the absence of the hitman Gerald Fourie and Johan Fourie. Johan Fourie with that incident earlier on, right at the beginning of the race, and then fighting back brilliantly to that 4th position. Gerald Fourie that probably just disconnected from the internet as such. And by the time he came back on, well, at this pace, everybody's up, dusted, and disappeared. Well done, Leon van Wyk, 3 spins, but still holds on to that 2nd position. Brilliant, Sandro Bakari. Wow, 3rd overall. When the cats go away, the mice come out to play. So when the juniors, everybody under 60 years of age, run into any kind of problems, Sandro Bakari pulling through there. Peter van der Spey in that 7th position. He would have been in 6th. He just let Stephen McCarthy go through out of, what a gentleman. And then Gerald Mazet from Gerald Fourie, Johan Engelbrecht, and Swayze Hubert. Now, having said that, we 1 minute 20 into the warm-up session. And when we get to 3 minutes, we're going to have that inverted grid. That's going to be an interesting one to see how that one plays itself out. Let's have a look at the Grandmasters as such. Sandro Bakari from Peter van der Spey from Johan Engelbrecht. Now, Johan Engelbrecht is leading on points going into this. Peter van der Spey was 2nd and Sandro Bakari was 3rd. So Yebo, total invert for them. And the Masters, if you take the Grand Masters out of it, JJ from Leon, Johan, Timothy, Johan Ferry, as always, somehow finds a way to get through and fights all his way back to that third position. But yup, on the invert, it's going to be a completely different story. There's no doubt about that. The track that we are on, let's have a look at that one. Not a lot of exactly well-known names there at all, but it does give you a bit of an idea as to the total layout and why we have the crossover on the circuit with a realistic split there between left-hand corners and right-hand corners because of the, let's call it the figure of 8 basic configuration as such. Right, we're just about ready to get going with race number 2. Full invert it's going to be. Gerald Maget using every second to go out there and go and practice. That's going to come to an end around about a couple of seconds from now. Right now, in fact. So let's go and have a look-see. As soon as that grid becomes available, how are they going to start this race? Well, it's going to look something like this. Let's see if we can get that grid up. So Swayze Hubert and Johan Engelbrecht's going to be on the front row of the grid. Then it's going to be Gerald Ferry and Gerald Maget. Oh, bye-bye, Gerald Ferry. He'll just up dust and disappear from there. Peter van der Spey, and, well, he's going to have to follow through with Gerald Ferry to go and fetch Johan Engelbrecht if that works out for him. Stephen McCarthy, Timothy Stanton and Johan Ferry coming off the 4th row of the grid. That's going to be a humdinger. And we've seen Sandra Bakari do some amazing stuff. So Sandra Bakari, Leon van Wyk and JJ van der Merwe, that is on a high right now. That is going to be brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. Off the line they come, and who is going to be the man that gets the whole shot as they work their way down towards turn number 1. Johan Engelbrecht on that inside line. Swayze Hubert on the outside. Straight away, they are swapping positions, and Gerald Ferry goes to the front. Gerald Ferry from Johan Engelbrecht. Gerald Maget stays on that inside line. Johan Ferry's going to have a look now. Try and stick his nose in there in that 4th position. It's Johan Ferry that's going to try and squeeze his way past. Johan Ferry's got Stephen McCarthy in there behind him. Johan Ferry knows if Gerald gets away, you're not going to be able to fetch him. Running a little bit wide there was Johan Engelbrecht to let Swayze Hubert come through. And Johan Ferry sticks it up on the inside. Oh, and there's a pile up at the front end of the field. Can you believe it? And the doors of heaven open up, and the man that finds himself at the front end of the pack is in fact Gerald Ferry from Johan Ferry. As they work their way through, Gerald Ferry from Johan Ferry from Stephen McCarthy that's gone up into that 3rd. The being IT entry of Leon van Wyk. Then it's JJ van der Merwe. Then it's Sandra Bakari. Peter van der Spey directly in there behind that. Peter van der Spey on the move. Let's go on board with Peter van der Spey. Let's see what it's like to ride in one of these high-speed Renault 3.5s. As we ride on board with Peter van der Spey, it's Sandra Bakari that's directly in front of him. In front of that, the green car, resplendent in. Oh, what a dive! Peter van der Spey late on the brakes. A brilliant piece of diving in there. Just the fastest lap has just been put together by 1:45.272. Gerald Ferry's out in open ground. Remember the number, 3.5 seconds. 3.5 seconds between Gerald Ferry and Johan Ferry as we ride on board with Peter van der Spey in behind the red Ferrari of Sandra Bakari, who's in behind the green mean machine of JJ van der Merwe, the white being IT entry that you see in front of that, and that closing onto the back of Stephen McCarthy. So let's ride on board with Leon van Wyk all over the back end of Stephen McCarthy. Leon van Wyk gets good drive underneath the crossover. That is, remember the crossover that I spoke about. Will he go for the dive now on the inside of Stephen McCarthy? No, Stephen pretty good on the brakes. Do they select first gear? Oh, very, very quick changeover there into fourth gear, realizing that you don't want to make that same mistake. Now he's got a good run onto the back of Steve McCarthy. Will he have a look for that inside? No, backs out of it once again, Leon van Wyk. But looking back from Leon van Wyk is JJ van der Merwe. JJ van der Merwe is right in there with them. That's the way that they come through. It's going to be a massive, massive struggle from here between the three of them. Gerald Fourie and Johan Fourie. Well, look at that. It's now gone down to 3.6 seconds. Johan Fourie has gone hunting. And so has Leon van Wyk. Leon van Wyk dives towards the outside. Stephen McCarthy is going to hold him out. What a massive battle this is. Leon van Wyk goes up on the inside of Stephen McCarthy. JJ van der Merwe is in there as well. That's about as tight as it gets. You can't get any tighter than what this is between the three of them. There is nothing in it whatsoever. Leon van Wyk, Stephen McCarthy and JJ van der Merwe. Right in behind JJ van der Merwe is Peter van der Spey. Sandra McCarthy is trying to have a look at Peter van der Spey, but we ride with Leon van Wyk as Stephen McCarthy's right in there behind him. Stephen McCarthy has been passed by Leon van Wyk, but JJ van der Merwe is right in there with him. What a brilliant dice these guys are having right now as they work their way around the lap. It is Gerald Fourie that still leads out. There's Gerald Fourie. 3.5 seconds back to Johan Fourie. Only 4 seconds further back. Here comes Battle Royal. It's Leon van Wyk. It's Stephen McCarthy. It's JJ van der Merwe. It's Peter van der Spey. It's Sandro Bakari. As quick as you can say the names, that is how they come through. It's all on. It's all on in Suzuka as we go back to Gerald Fourie. Gerald Fourie doing an amazing job up front. That's still 3.5 seconds from Gerald Fourie. Back to Johan Fourie. We'll just keep an eye as he works his way out into the straight. There you see Gerald Fourie, and not far behind him, there comes Johan Fourie. It's 3.5 seconds, nothing much in it. Now that Battle Royal, it's Leon van Wyk, it's Stephen McCarthy, it's JJ van der Merwe, it's Peter van der Spey, it's Sandro Bakari. As fast as you can say those names, through the tight part of the track they go and back out into the straight. Keep an eye on that man, Leon van Wyk. Can he stretch out from Stephen McCarthy? JJ is all over the back of him. JJ had some good drive coming out of the corner. Don't count out the Cenas. Peter van der Spey and Sandro Bakari is right in there as well. They are not getting away from Peter van der Spey. I was briefed before this race as to, I'm not allowed to say it's a matter of time before they pass Peter. Peter van der Spey having a great time out there. It's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. But let's go back to that battle up front. It's Gerald Fourie that's leading out from Johan Fourie. Then here we go. The being IT entry, Leon van Wyk. Is Leon getting slightly away from Stephen McCarthy? I almost think so. Visually, you can see getting away from Stephen McCarthy, but Stephen's holding sway against JJ. JJ, the winner of race number 1, albeit with a little bit of luck, doesn't matter. He had a very good race out there. And JJ van der Merwe stays ahead there of Peter van der Spey. Peter van der Spey staying ahead of Sandro Bakari. Points-wise, it doesn't really make that much difference because Sandro and Peter, because of the fact that there's been a fair amount of races that Sandro has not been able to take part in. But the biggest loser in this one is, in fact, Johan Engelbrecht, because Johan Engelbrecht finds himself a long way down. There you can see our main protagonists. There they are. And JJ van der Merwe is going for the move. JJ van der Merwe is going for the move. They go 3 abreast in. Backs out of that one. JJ van der Merwe. Oh, when he gets it sideways. JJ van der Merwe gets it sideways. He's going to have to probably reverse out of that one. JJ van der Merwe is 13 seconds. Oh, is he going to take a ride through the pits? Oh, that's going to cost him big time. And I do believe if he goes into the pits now, it's going to be a case of There comes Gerald Maget. Gerald Maget is going to go past. JJ is going to do the proverbial drive-through. We'll stay with him. We're 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Lap number 5 of 15. In fact, he's going to make it his pit stop. So that's going to be the pit stop. Let's see who else has been in so far. He is the first man in and out. So in effect, he won't lose too much time at this stage of the fight. But Sandro Bakari is right in there. Sandro Bakari is doing a very good job. Sandro Bakari on the back of Stephen McCarthy. But even though Sandro's on the back end of Stephen McCarthy splits the two Grandmasters. So Peter van der Spey will be hoping and praying that Stephen McCarthy can hold out just a little bit on Sandro Bakari, that he can make a bit of a gap and make sure that he doesn't get any pressure from behind. And having said that, they just about side by side. Stephen McCarthy doing everything he possibly can. Can Stephen McCarthy hold out Sandro Bakari? I think Sandro Bakari is going to move up that position. He moves up on that inside line. Does Sandro Bakari? Can he hold it through that long left-hander? Now down into the brake markers. Sandro Bakari having passed. Oh, when he goes off, he comes back on the circuit. Stephen McCarthy says, thank you very much. I'll just go straight back past you again. Stephen McCarthy goes through, and now it's Timothy Stanton that's coming into play with Sandro Bakari. Timothy Stanton goes past Sandro Bakari as well, so that costs him dearly. That one little mistake for Sandro Bakari, and he drops right down. Peter van der Spey will feel a whole bunch better right now. There is, in fact, Peter van der Spey. Let's put up that battle box. Let's put up the positions for you as well. There you see Peter van der Spey coming through there. I don't want to talk to him right now. Wait till he gets out into the straight, and then we will have a chat with Peter van der Spey. He probably is not aware of the fact that Sandro Bakari had that incident, and he's got a whole bunch of ground now behind him. Let's just let him work his way through the tighter part of the field. Peter van der Spey, the number 4 that you see there. Peter van der Spey at the front end of the pack. He's going to work his way now through the double left-hander. Nice and smooth. Ease it out the other side. Now hammer down all the way from there. And look at the battle that's going on behind him as Timothy Stanton and Stephen McCarthy. Timothy Stanton and Stephen McCarthy. Stephen closes the line off on that inside line. Makes sure that there's not a problem between the two of them. There you see them in the background. Timothy Stanton and Stephen McCarthy. Peter van der Spey, I don't know if you noticed that there was some action there behind you. You've now got a couple of cars between yourself and Sandro. Well, he's concentrating on what's going on there. Johan Verries into the pits. Johan Verries into the pits, and Stephen McCarthy has crashed. Let's see what happened to Stephen McCarthy as he went out into the straight. Oh, Jeremy, he had nowhere to go. Car came right across in front of him and stuck in the up against the wall. He's going to have to back out of that and teleport himself back to the pits. And Stephen McCarthy is now in the pit lane. Johan Engelbrecht has come into the pit lane. JJ van der Merwe has worked his way through the pits and out the other side. He still finds himself behind Johan Verries. So, what a session. Let's have a look at that from an onboard point of view. Stephen McCarthy. And I think it was Leon van Wyk that was standing there. Yep, that looks like the Being IT entry that was there. Let's see if we can pick that part of it. Yeah, that was it. It was Leon van Wyk that had that. Let's see, there was a previous off track there. Ah, that was Gerald Maget. I think it was busy going into the pits. And he went into the back of him, spun it around, and bang, gets hammered. So there was a whole series of incidents that went down there and created that situation that we just had a look at. So from the top end down, it is Gerald Fourie. It's Captain Peter van der Spey. Oh, he'll be loving this piece of fresh air in front of him. Peter van der Spey, 9 seconds to the 11th place man, Stephen McCarthy. No reason whatsoever for Peter van der Spey to go into the pits right now. It's open air in front of him. He can just concentrate on what's happening in front of him. He doesn't have to worry. Leon van Wyk has in fact gone into the pits. He's on his way out. Johan Fourie is still in the pits. So to my mind, Leon van Wyk is the lead man out there in terms of in and out of the pits. Leon van Wyk in behind Swys Joubert. Swys has not taken that mild 7 Benetton entry in and out of the pits. So that is not actually a race for position, although it is. It's actually not, because the one's been into pits and the other one has it. So Swys Joubert by rights should let Leon van Wyk go. That's the right thing to do. He did it right there. And Leon van Wyk now leads them out. And the gap. Oh, Gerald Fourie's come in. Gerald Fourie has come in. Surely Peter van der Spey is not going to worry to come in at this stage of the fight. There's Gerald Fourie. No reason for Peter to come in. He will in fact take the lead. Peter van der Spey in the lead, having a good time. Your predictions for this one?
Top 3, hopefully.
Awesome stuff. Let Peter concentrate on what he's doing out there. We don't want to have a commentator's curse and something goes wrong for him at all. Peter van der Spey that leads out. It is 1.8 seconds behind him is Timothy Stanton. Behind Timothy Stanton is going to be Gerald Fourie going through that exact same corner 8 seconds further back. Behind that, once again, Sandro Bakari's in the mix. Sandro Bakari finds himself in that 4th position. Then the next man behind Sandro Bakari will in fact be Leon van Wyk. He's ahead of Swys Joubert, but remember Swys has not been in and out of the pits yet. So Gerald Fourie is in fact the lead man by 24 seconds from Leon van Wyk of the people that have been in and out of the pits. Now that says to me, if Peter van der Spey goes in and comes back out, he's probably going to come out just ahead of Leon van Wyk, most probably. And that's going to make for some interesting stuff. You'll probably be behind between Gerald and Leon. Sandro, if he goes in, will probably come out between Swys and JJ van der Merwe. That is my prediction at this stage of the fight. And Stephen McCarthy, having had that incident, finds himself a long way further down than what he wanted to be. Johan Engelbrecht had an incident. Oh, he saved it that time around. And coming through underneath the bridge. So having saved it after the first little incident, he managed to get it back together. And into the pits comes Peter van der Spey. So Gerald Fourie goes through. Peter van der Spey is into the pits. Timothy Stanton is in the pits. Sandro Bakari is in the pits. Where is Leon van Wyk? Here comes Leon van Wyk, but I think Timothy Stanton's on his way out. Timothy Stanton and Peter van der Spey is on their way out, and the next man to come through is going to be Leon van Wyk, and Leon van Wyk is only just coming into the straight now. So Timothy Stanton in that 2nd position, Peter van der Spey 3rd on circuit, and first in the Grand Masters. This is going to be a massive haul of points for Peter van der Spey, and then behind them is Leon van Wyk. Now Leon van Wyk with 10 or 15 laps done finds himself 8.2 seconds behind Peter van der Spey. As they say in the classics, methinks Leon van Wyk is not going to be able to get to Peter van der Spey in that period of time. I think Peter has done it all right at this stage of the fight. He's just on 1.1 seconds off Timothy Stanton, but all he's got to do now is keep it a whole bunch of smooth. That's all that he needs to do, and he will pick up a podium finish. Peter van der Spey doing a lovely job from Leon van Wyk. Then behind that, the next man coming through is JJ van der Merwe, Sandro Bakari. Oh, JJ locks up that left-hand front. Sandro Bakari on his way through there now as well. There's a fair gap of 14 seconds back to Gerald Maget. That's just been passed by Johan Fourie. Let's see how that looked from the cockpit for Johan Fourie. Oh, Gerald Maget, same spot. Everybody through that second right-hander goes out there. And if they don't go out there on the exit of this corner, Johan Fourie, confident in that first gear. First gets it all straight before he goes and climbs on the loud pedal. Everybody has been in and out of the pits. Let's have a look at the gains and losses. Gerald Fourie up 2. Timothy Stanton up 5 positions. Leon and JJ up 6 positions. Utterly brilliant with that off that Johan Engelbrecht that's dropped him down. He's the biggest loser of all. Is 8 positions, and Swayze Hubert down 7 positions, having started in that pole position and being involved in the incident. Swayze Hubert finds himself dropping a long way down. It's a pity for Johan Engelbrecht because he's had 2 incidents in this race. Let's have a look at what happened to Swayze Hubert. Wow, he held on to that so well, did Swayze Hubert. And then the second portion of that, it just got away from him. And it takes so long to get going again. You got to really play with that accelerator to get it up to pace. And, well, that is exactly what happened to him. Back to Sandro Bakari and JJ van der Merwe. That is the big fight right now. 6 places up for the high-flying JJ van der Merwe, having been gifted a win with the absence from screen completely of the front man, Gerald Fourie. And now he finds himself in a massive titanic struggle, trying to hold out. JJ van der Merwe on Sandro Bakari. It's going to be a very difficult time for him, JJ van der Merwe, to hold out on Sandro Bakari, because once Sandro gets a sniff, it's like a hound dog. He just doesn't let you go. Is he going to go for the dive? He goes for the outside line. JJ van der Merwe will break nice and late to hold on to that one, get good drive out of the corner. Lives to fight another day, but getting right underneath his tail now is Sandro Bakari. Dives towards the inside, gets up alongside JJ van der Merwe. Now, in real terms, it doesn't really matter to JJ. It's just a boy thing, because they're not in the same classes. The one is a master, the other one is a grandmaster. As we follow that, oh, somebody's just had a massive pile up there. Was that Leon van Wyk? Oh, same spot. Horrible situation with these 3.5 Renaults. Look at that. Look how you battle to get the power down. And if you go down to first gear, it just doesn't want to get away. Sandro Bakari is up, dusted and disappeared. A gap already from JJ. He's got 1.4 seconds that he's taken out. So let's go to our lead man, Gerald Fourie, the man that was leading race number 1 when the technical glitch took him out of it. 14 seconds back comes Timothy Stanton. Not far behind that comes Peter van der Spey. Peter van der Spey's got the gap on that man, Sandro Bakari, and he's got a very decent gap. 13 seconds, Peter van der Spey on Sandro Bakari. Peter up 2, Sandro Bakari up 5 positions. You see how hard he's pushing it there to try and get away from JJ. And Sandro's going to try and close the gap on Peter van der Spey, but it ain't going to happen. There's not enough time left. No, something's got to go wrong up front for Sandro Bakari to go any further forward. JJ van der Merwe, the winner of race number 1 in the Green Dream Machine, ahead of Leon van Wyk. And Johan Fourie behind him, and it just hasn't worked out for Johan Fourie. Oh, Swayze Hubert has just had an incident. Yep, that's going out into the straight. Exact same scenario. How many guys have gone off there? Got to extricate yourself from that barrier. Now you've got to try and get across the circuit. Wait for the car to come through. There was Gerald Maget that went through. He teleports himself back to the pits and will then Sway Hubert will take off from the pits. So Johan Fourie is into that 7th position. 6 seconds behind Leon van Wyk. 22 3/4 minutes into it, and you've got to give it to Gerald Fourie. If you think about it, in the Shell Marlboro colours, Gerald Fourie was on the front row of the grid. He led race number 1. He had a bad internet connection. It dropped him out of play and dropped him right back. Then he fought back as best he could, made up a couple of positions as best he could from there. And then the next thing thereafter was this race, and he finds himself once again at the front end of the field and doing a brilliant job. Is Gerald Fourie. I think he definitely deserves driver of the day based on what he has done so far. It's been a massive ride by him. You couldn't do any more than what Gerald Fourie has done on this, the second last round of the Sports and GT Masters and Grand Masters for 2024 season 12, round number 11, and there's just a couple of seconds to go for Gerald Fourie. He will work his way around the circuit, and when he comes through, it's either going to be the white flag or the checker. Given that there's still a minute to go, I think he might still have to do one more lap after this one. Let's ride on board. Yeah, I think he's going to have to do one more lap. It's lap 14 of 15. Just look at the speed that he's got. 6th gear, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Hold on to that 2nd gear. Nice and smooth coming out of the corner. Still 14 seconds to go. We will get the white flag as he comes down the front main. That's the white flag. Let's do the final lap on board with Gerald Fourie. Down towards turn number 1. Nice and smooth. Down through the gearbox. Down to that 3rd gear. Up to 4th. It's nice and smooth in 5th. Back to 4th gear. Just to get the kick between those corners. High in the revs. 3rd gear as he takes the climb. Nice and smooth on the gas as you come over the blind rise. Keep your foot flat up to 5th gear. Now look at the pace through this corner. Just a light lift off. Now you've got to hammer it 3 gears down. Through underneath the bridge he goes. Up the hill. Blind entry to the next corner until you're almost on that braking marker. Whether you go down to 1st gear. Short shift up to 2nd. Past one of the main grandstands. Now he's got that double left-hander as he goes through under the SUZUKA circuit bridge. Over the blind rise into the braking marker. Carry fair amount of speed in there. Lower the speed just a little. Nice and smooth. Take that curbstone on the inside. Now flat foot all the way through. The next time he's going to lift is going to be as he goes into the right left-hander at the end of the lap. And then take that long curved right-hander down past the start-finish line as we ride on board with Gerald Fourie. 9.6 seconds in the lead and not lifting off whatsoever as he decides to just keep the foot flat, and he picks up the checkered flag and he does a weave as he goes across the circuit. What a lovely drive there by Gerald Fourie. Driver of the day, race number 1. Driver of the day, race number 2. Timothy Stanton, ecstatic with that one. Up 5 positions, Timothy Stanton. Peter van der Spey comes through. He will be ever so chuffed with that one. Winning out the biggest points for race number 1 and for race number 2 as well. The next man coming through, Sandro Bakari coming through in 2nd. Ahead of JJ van der Merwe, also ahead of Leon van Wyk that comes through there as well. And then coming through behind that is in fact Johan Fourie. in the monster car. He'll come across the line. I think it's 2 7th places, in fact, for Johan Ferry. Gerald Maget, 4 places down. Started in 4th. He ended in 8th, so he started in 4th. Finds himself back in that 8th position. Nice to see Gerald Maget back out on circuit again. Here comes the other Marlboro car. Johan Engelbrecht, not a happy run for the leading Grandmaster. Finds himself behind Sandro and Peter van der Spey. And then a lonely Stephen McCarthy. Stephen comes through and picks up that 10th position. Well, he still enjoyed himself as Stephen decides to weave it across the track, because he actually enjoyed that. He locks it up. Stephen, it all went wrong towards the end there. You ended up in 10th position. Take us through the bit of bad luck that you had in race number 2.
Hi, Gary. Yeah, I was sitting in a nice bunch there with Leon, but I think Johan Ferry spun in the last corner, and we all tried to miss him, and ended up connecting him, and I was stuck in the barrier, so I had to tow to pit, and that cost me a minute.
Yeah, we were actually on board with you at that stage of the fight. Gerald Ferry, driver of race number 1, teleported out of the game, and with the second race back in there in the lead position, faultless, utterly faultless. Gerald, congratulations, driver of the day. Heat number 1 and heat number 2, which is the first time that has ever happened in season 12.
Hi, Donkey Wim.
It's driver of the day. Damn it. Again.
Wow, lovely drive. Nice to see Timothy Stanton right up there as well. Let's see Timothy Stanton that got that second. Timothy Stanton in race number 1. A 4th and a 2nd there for Timothy Stanton. So that is a very strong one. Leon van Wyk picking up a 2nd in race number 1. Let's go back to the feature. And he's got a 2nd and a 4th. So Timothy and Leon picking up same size points on that one. And then let's have a look at the Grand Masters for the feature. And that shows us Peter van der Spey coming up tops in the feature. And there's the results for race number 1 as well. Peter van der Spey ahead of Johan Engelbrecht on the first race, ahead of Johan Engelbrecht on the second race. Peter, that must bring you notably closer to Johan Engelbrecht, if not ahead of him in the overall Grandmasters Championship.
Well, I mean, all things being equal, I should be in front now. I should have a comfortable lead now. Definitely, yeah, that was the goal for tonight, was just to get hold of Johan Engelbrecht. And I think goal achieved. And not only that, podium, can you believe it, against all these alien drivers.
And no talk about anybody catching you and eventually passing you in tonight's race. That must have felt good.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I was expecting you to say, and Leon it's just a matter of time before he catches him. I'm bloody sure that is not going to happen tonight.
Fantastic stuff. Gents, to all of you, fantastic stuff. That was really great. Folks, there is your overall result for the feature race. We will be back with you next week, same time at just after 9:15 with round number 12, season number 12, Masters and Grandmasters, and that from Second Gear Productions down in the friendly city of Cape Town, Welgelegen. From my side, Gary Fleming, drive home safely and good night to you, one and all.